Good afternoon, happy Friday to all of our listeners and viewers here in Barbados and all over the world. This is the Automart TV, the ninth episode of Automart TV, the latest news, reviews, tips, and information about the automotive industry. The Automart TV is sponsored by Automart Extravaganza, the number one platform for vehicles for sale. You can visit www.automartextravaganza.com, sign up for free, become a member of this awesome networking platform, buy or sell your vehicle today. Today, on the 2nd of October 2020, we are talking about something very exciting again related to the automotive industry. Our guest is Kai Prescod. Hi, Kai. Thank you for being here today with us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. What about you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you very much. Have you managed to stay dry in these rainy weathers?
Yeah, yes, I have.
That's good. That's good. Yes, here in Barbados, it's quite rainy at the moment. It's raining as well. It is 4 p.m. and we are talking about off-road driving. That's
Yes,
right,
we
Kai?
are. Yes, we are.
You are a member of the L2 Crew in Barbados. That's a mainly Mitsubishi group, but please tell me about this crew. How long you are part of it, and what are you guys really doing?
Well, I have only joined the group since last year, February. Since then, the group has mainly been about a group of guys come and get together that have one particular vehicle. So that when a guy has a problem, that they can assist. There's like he doesn't have to go squandering for answers. He come to the
Hmm.
group, ask a question, and get his questions answered one time. It doesn't have to be no hassle. Everyone there is well knowledgeable about the vehicles. So we always add new people members who will now recently get their own L200s, Mitsubishi L200s, and we help them along the way of their journeys. Any queries they have about the parts, anything, we help them along. So it's more like a family oriented group.
That's very lovely. You basically then helping out each other in any given situation, whether it's a mechanical or any other related problem related to your vehicle. Do you also drive a Mitsubishi L200?
Unfortunately, no, I do not drive a Mitsubishi L200. I drive a Ford Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Nice.
I guess you can just say it disguised as an L200.
Yes, definitely. That's your future goal.
Um, no, not really. But if one comes up, I'm sure to get one.
That's very good. Uh, I had the chance to travel in your vehicle
Yes,
during
you did.
last weekend. That's where we first met. It was a very adventurous, exciting happening. This was one of your events you organizing. You organized quite a lot of event get-togethers and link-ups, even with other off-road groups, car groups, off-road junkies, or the Mud Connect, just to mention a few of them. And you from the L2 crew, you are also welcoming other, for instance, Chevrolet
Yes.
Colorado drivers and off-road junkies as well. They were on this event. This was the last one taking place here in Barbados on the 27th of September, last Sunday. Um, it was an awesome experience for me, but I would like you to talk about it a little bit. What was it about, and how the whole day? It was basically a full day event. If I count my hours well, then I spent, I guess, about 13 hours on the road with you guys.
Yeah.
And
Yes, you did.
we started very early, so please talk a little bit about this.
Right.
How was last Sunday?
So the last Sunday was to me it was fantastic. It was probably the best event you ever did. Um,
Was it
yeah,
because I
yeah.
was there too?
No, because we actually
We
had food
never
this
know.
time. We had food. We
We
had
normally
food.
don't. Mhm.
Yeah. So basically, we decided to do something a little different this time. We just decided to start with a breakfast. We have
Mhm.
Chef Craig in our group. He's a famous chef here in Barbados. So we decided to let him do something for breakfast. So his breakfast menu was all at him. We had no choice. We had no decision in the matter. He constructed the breakfast menu, and if we just want
I
to
mean,
do
that's
something a little
quite
different,
diverse.
yeah,
It was
we
very
just want.
diverse. It was everything.
Yes, it was. We just wanted to do something a little different, get other people to come out, and then we wanted to do a trail afterwards. Given that we were so far into the country, we were actually down East Coast Road to St. Andrew. So then we
Hmm.
wanted to do something a little different. So we wanted to trail. This is like the off-roading. But I was a little shocked to see when all the Chevys and stuff rolled up and there it was told that, oh, these guys are actually coming with us off-roading. It was like, oh, okay.
Because their
I,
wheels are not designed for these off-roads
no,
at all.
no,
Am I right?
they were bone stock vehicles straight out of straight out of the manufacturer, and I had to put in my head, I had to rethink the route a little bit so that anything that we do, they were not going to have difficulties with. But given that, well, it was rethinking the route, the rain began to fall, which made things even more interesting, as you remember.
That's off-road drivers' best dream, basically, right? That's what we
It
all love
is,
to have, rain.
it
Have
is, but
it
not when you
more muddy,
have,
more slippery.
yeah, but not when you have a big group of most people that were inexperienced. So me and Sugar, who you would have interviewed the last time, we
That's
would have
right.
been out the day before and we would have drove through the route. From what we would have driven through, it was very easy. It was nothing hard. It was some of the hills there were challenging, but on the day of they got even more challenging when the rain began to fall and then the more and more vehicles came. It got more and more slippery, so you have to push your vehicle a little bit harder more in order to get up those hills, as you could remember.
Exactly. It was very extreme, I could tell. We also started extremely early. Like, I don't know what time did you get up, but I woke up at 3 a.m. that day.
Same here.
Same there,
Yes,
right?
please.
So we were already on the road at 3:30, heading to the north point of the island, and at the end, the meeting point at St. Andrews, as you mentioned, on a peak, where with a sunrise breakfast, we
Yes.
kicked off the day. It was a beautiful start of the Sunday. However, the weather was a little bit rainy, but as you said, then after 3 p.m., everybody gathered. Approximately how many vehicles were attending the event?
Um, when we did the count, when we left for the trailing, there were approximately 20 vehicles.
So yes, we definitely created a huge caravan,
That
and you
was,
were the leader.
I would consider that huge. That was quite small to the last one we did, where we had over just around 50 vehicles.
Ooh, all right,
Yes.
you see, I'm a beginner in this field. For me, it was a huge caravan, but yes, in previous events, you had even more vehicles, as you said, up to 50. That
Yes,
was the
please.
the biggest crowd you ever gathered
Yes,
for an
that was
off-road
the
ride.
biggest crowd we ever gathered. We were not
Wow.
expecting it, but that was our biggest crowd, and that was a night off-road trail. So we would have done that any night. We would start just after 7 o'clock any night, and I believe we finished just after 11:30.
Ooh, okay. Also, from the same direction, from the north to the south, or what was the?
We would start from the south and head more central. So we
Hmm.
would have started at Sky Mall, and we would
Hmm.
have ended down St. John.
Okay, that included a lot of off-roading as well and slippery hills.
That day it wasn't much rain, so it wasn't that slippery as what we would experienced last Sunday.
Hmm. I understand. Yes.
Yeah, but
So after, yes, please go ahead.
yeah, but there were still plenty hills.
Plenty here.
I always try to include plenty hills.
Exactly. Well, before we went on this adventure, there was really a very generous breakfast with fruits and juice, tea, coffee
Yeah.
included, and Chef Craig really made us all very full and ready with full of energy for the long ride. We had fish cakes, potato,
Yeah,
omelette,
eggs, bakes.
sausage,
Yeah.
bakes. It was a plate full.
Yes, it was.
That was awesome. And you were the leader of the caravan. Are
Yes,
you
yes, it
usually the
was.
leader?
Yes, I am.
Why is that? You know every road in Barbados, every shortcut.
um, Not necessarily. I partake in an off-roading event called Mud Dogs Navigational Rally. So I learned most of the off-road trails via from doing those rallies.
Oof, how long are you doing these rallies?
I have been doing it for the past 2 years now. This is
Wow.
my third year.
You're doing it this year as well. When is this event going to take place?
There was one 2 weekends ago, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, I was awaiting parts for my vehicle. They didn't get in time. I got received them the week after, sadly. So there
Mhm.
is another one in November. It is on November the 14th.
14th of November, Mud
Yes,
Connect
please.
rally.
No, Mad Dogs.
Pardon me, Mad Dogs. Okay.
Yeah, Mad
What can
Dogs.
we
Yes,
know
please.
about this group, the Mad Dogs?
Well, we're actually a group of people who enjoy the trail, enjoy the fun of it. It is more of a fun game than just driving around the whole island. Because I actually set with the first rally that we did for this year, which was in July. It was actually consists of 3 routes. So they would have started in the afternoon on the Saturday, and they would have finished Sunday morning for breakfast. So it was
Okay.
true. It was yes,
Through the
it was 3 routes. I would have me and my navigator we would have started doing the routes from in February.
night. Okay.
But then yes, because we were doing it for the first rally, which would have been in March. But unfortunately, we given the whole COVID situation, we were unable to complete that rally. So when we
Okay.
came out of the lockdown, we were asked then to add on another route on top of the two that we would have already done. In hopes of preparations to have it completed and have it rechecked by someone so that it can be it's all good to go for the July.
So that means you require quite a long preparation for these sort of
Yes, you have.
rallies. What do you need to do in this preparation time?
Well, in this preparation time, you actually have to find out where you want to start the rally and where you want to finish your rally, and then in between there you have to figure out where you want to go. And it is all honestly up to the route setters, the persons who are setting the rally, to try to trick the competitors. So
Okay. They
you're
actually
out
trying to
there, yeah. So you're out there driving, and then you're like, I want to get these people lost, but not too lost. I want to trick them because the way how it works is, yeah, it's almost basically a time based rally, but you
Okay.
also get penalty points. The more penalty points you get, the least penalty points you receive, the higher up you're placed.
Understood.
So you get a penalty point for missing a checkpoint, coming in the wrong direction to a checkpoint, and if you miss a checkpoint, it wrong directions.
So
So pardon me?
they changing the routes while you are already in the race?
No. The route setters would already set the routes. So
Okay.
you're given so at the start of the rally you're actually given a, some pieces of paper with some instructions on them. There are different types of instructions. There are
Okay.
instructions where you have a straight lane and there are lanes going all over the place and you have to determine if you're supposed to turn left or turn right. If it is a
So it's
cart
not
road,
quite straightforward.
no, it's not going straight forward
Okay.
at all. There have
That's
even been some times where
mhm.
you're driving and you see a big tall piece of bush in front of you and you're wondering if you have to go through it or not. Okay, and then
Wow.
you're actually gonna sit down and question yourself, am I lost? Am I really, really lost? There have been some many cases where me and my navigator have been lost.
Wow.
We see someone going in one direction and we follow them and we hope that that person is actually going the right direction.
And he wasn't.
Yeah, he most of the time they're going the right direction.
But that's the tricky part here that you can never know it for 100%
You,
sure.
the only time you will know is if you come up to
Yeah.
a checkpoint and then if the marshal tells you if you came for the right direction or the wrong direction.
And how many checkpoints are there on a rally like this?
Um, there's a minimum amount. I can't remember exactly the minimum amount, but some route setters go really overboard and do use a lot of checkpoints.
That's boring for
So
a rally driver.
not necessarily it's boring. We were able to set we would have had much checkpoints and the drivers were getting kind of frustrated because it's like they don't know if they were going in the right direction or the wrong direction. So it's a mixture of both, and you're having a lot or a little bit of checkpoints.
Okay, but it's a lot of fun. I bet you
Yeah,
do enjoy it and maybe
yes,
frustrate it as
it
well
is a lot
sometimes.
of fun. It is a lot of fun. I learned so much over the 2 years I have been doing it actually. Uh, I have broke for a fair amount of parts on my truck doing it as well. But
The less
I'm always
funny part.
determined. Yeah, I'm always determined to finish the rally. There was one time where I broke two of my steering rods and a CV joint, but I was able to get my spare steering rods from at home, and I actually finished that rally.
Wow, that is an accomplishment for
Yes.
sure. Yeah, it wasn't this wide, the last event, last Sunday, but you drove a quite big distance. What route did you drive on Sunday? You mentioned starting from St. Andrews, and then I basically was lost. I never touched, I never ever traveled or touched these off roads in Barbados. Through you guys, I got to know a few of them, but like I was
Yeah.
really in the dark. You knew exactly where we're going and so and so, but so tell me where did the routes lead you
So
guys?
we would start, as you said, in St. Andrew on East West Road. My original plan was to go further down into St. Andrew and come back around to East Coast Road. But given the rain, when, as you would have known, I just snuck out a little bit to test one part of the trail that I would have included. And when I was trying to get up, it was really, really slidey. So I told myself it's not going to make sense coming down, because then
Yeah.
something bad may happen. So in that case, we would have left from East Coast Road, and we would have went towards St. Joseph. We would have gone up Harsill, and well, what we call Harsill, and we would have made a left turn just before a famous bridge near Joe's River. We
Hmm.
would have made it to through our first trail, which would have carried us up the hill where Sugar was on the back of my vehicle, and where
He
we
was
would have met.
he was
Yes,
cleaning the
and
bush.
yes, he was. Where we would have met the guys doing the video recording. I would believe that was. And then from there,
Yes,
we
in
would
the middle of the jungle, we saw randomly some
erase
individuals
randomly.
running around. That was like, what?
Yes.
But yeah, we just kept going, and there were some hiccups, as in almost every off-road drive. As in,
Yes.
like we stick up in a few places. We were cheering to each other, right? Like 20
Yes,
cars.
we were.
There were two samurai, if I'm correct.
Yes, please.
They had absolutely no issue, right? Like, please explain a little bit to us. What's the samurai? How are they built up? The
Well,
wheels, the structure.
in
Why are
in
they the best for off-roading?
because there are short wheelbase vehicles. They are relatively cheap here in Barbados. So you can buy
Really?
one and just go and drive it all out. Not really have a care in the world, but as you can see, we would also had brand new
I
vehicles that would
want
have
one,
no
please.
competition. You want you want a samurai?
Yeah, a
That's what,
beautiful green one, please.
you want the green one?
Yes.
Well, the more sought after off-road vehicles here in Barbados. We just given because of their long wheelbase, they can tackle anything and always make it out. You will find more that when a long wheelbase vehicle like a truck like what I have or a L2, they were more find to struggle, where a Samurai will actually get through a lot easier.
Yes. The wheels are much bigger on those vehicles.
Um, on
Is
only
it
the
right, or am I
not necessarily.
okay?
Um,
But like, mhm,
the the only guy that had on the biggest wheels was the Green Samurai. He would have had on, I believe it was 33-inch tires,
mhm.
versus everyone who would have had on probably like 31s or 30s.
Yes, and related to their size, basically, they are much shorter vehicles than, for example, your truck or the most of the L2
Correct.
Mitsubishis, because they don't have
They don't have the
behind the wheel,
tray.
they
Yeah,
don't have the
correct.
trailer,
And
and
they're mostly two doors instead of like how our trucks are four doors.
yes, they carry less weight as well due to that.
That's correct. Yes, they are a lot more lighter.
So they had no particular issue during even the steepest hill
No,
going up.
no, no. They have no issues whatsoever.
So at some point, what was one memorable uh, memory or experience during this last Sunday off-roading to you when it was particularly risky or a big kind of incident happened. Nobody got injured, no major accident has happened, but still at some points we were sticking up quite long. Some points one of the car was almost below the window level all the way
Yeah.
in the mud, in the water.
Yes.
Yeah, and those skills.
Um, Honestly, I don't do anything that is going to be risky to anyone else. I'm not going to put myself through it, so I don't believe I'm going to put anyone else through it. But the only part I would have saw that was risky was shortly after we would have came out Harso, our very first stop where we would actually go out and saw the vehicles came up. Now,
Hmm.
because after a few vehicles came up, the top began to get very slatey, especially during the middle. So when would have the new Chevys, they come up. I remember when they saw one of them went up really hard, and it pushed him to the left, and he hit the couple of the branches. They thought that, oh no, he damaged something. Because when they heard it, it was like he hit it hard. But I was
Oh,
honestly glad that I was terrified at that moment. I was honestly glad that he didn't hit it.
yeah.
So everything worked out fine.
I remember one moment which was very memorable for me, and quite a lot of people get out of the car. Actually, I was surprised how many ladies were there accompanying, like navigating their
Mhm.
partner or the driver himself. They are quite into this sport. It was crazy, and they knew quite a lot about, which gear, all those, for instance, the L2s or the Samurais,
Mhm.
which I saw manual gear in them,
Yes, they were
right?
manual.
They were manual, and there was one steep hill
Correct. Where the guy couldn't get up.
where
Right.
yes, and there was a lady driver as well,
Right.
and she stick up on that
Yeah.
hill, and you guys called the samurais as a help. First, one samurai was trying to pull her out on a rope, right? How
Mhm.
how was it?
Unfortunately, it wasn't successful because the way he approached it is that the hill was really long. It was a really long and steep hill, and he basically started from at the bottom of the hill to try to pull them up. So
Yeah.
in order for that, he would have had to get the momentum. So when he grabbed momentum and he went to go forward, being that the rope didn't had enough, it had too much slack. So when the tension put on the rope, it actually pulled off the person's bumper. So then we had her reset and come again. So
Oh,
so then what we decided to do is we get that samurai come as far up as possible up the hill without taking up the tension, and then we got a samurai up in front of him to pull him up.
so two samurais.
Yes, two samurais together be L2.
You managed
Just,
to rescue one L2 with two samurais. That was very
y-
exciting.
yes. If we could have done it probably with one vehicle if we would have had long enough rope, but just that the
Yeah.
rope wasn't long enough, and the rope we didn't want to honestly want to pull too hard because then the rope would just pop.
Hmm. As it did several times before we
Yes,
actually
yes,
succeed.
yes, it did.
Yeah. Um, and you are driving off road, as you said, with the rally as well, and that's why you know so many places, so many routes and tracks
Yes,
around
please.
Barbados. Have you already driven outside of Barbados?
No, I have not. I would like to though.
Okay. What would be a good location? What other
Hon-
Caribbean country
Honestly,
or
I have seen some videos in Trinidad, and it looks really nice. The mud
okay?
is like really, really, really thick. It looks like you need a nice big vehicle with some big tires, and I would love to at least go there, build a vehicle, and tackle some of those trails.
Sounds good. Hopefully, you will get to do that in the future. That's what boys like, man. Enough mud, thick mud,
It's true.
cars, and they can be outside playing 24/7. That's awesome. Um, what sort of skills as a driver do you require to have? Do you need to have? You're a very experienced driver. However, you're just 23 years old, but you drive awesome. I felt the whole time very safe with you, and you've been taking care of the whole crew as well. So you're a very responsible person, in my opinion, and you did lead the whole crew very well. Thank you
Yeah.
again. And so, what skills do you have to build up in order to drive safely and proactive?
Um, First of all, you need patience because you can't always attack anything the wrong way, and then you will honestly need to know how your vehicle is set up and how you can attack. How you also have a really nice keen eye to know
Mm-hmm.
how's the best way to tackle a trail without causing any damage to your vehicle or
You have to
without sliding
scan
back.
your environment non-stop. Is it right?
Yes, I'm always when I'm driving, I'm always scanning in front of me, looking for if there's a pothole, if there's a rut to my right, if there's a rut to my right, I need to spawn the rut, drive over it, and not drive into it, because sometimes you don't know what's are in the ruts.
Yeah.
There have been a couple of occasions where you actually be driving down a trail, and I've actually heard it's happened to some people. They be driving down a trail and they have discovered a cave in the trail where the vehicle fall into the cave.
No way. Wow.
Yeah, so you always have to be mindful and always have to be vigilant. That is the main thing. And your vehicle, you must know your vehicle is actually four-wheel drive compatible. If it's not, then you're not going to go anywhere whatsoever trying to get up a hill.
You have to know your vehicle. You got to be patient. Kai, what is the next occasion you are getting yourself and your vehicle ready for?
Um, the next one that I know of is the Mud Dogs Rally, which is in November.
Okay, and you guys with the L2 crew, are you planning to have another night drive, or is any other event coming up?
Yes, we're planning to have another night drive. It will also be in November as well. What it will do, it will probably set the route, but I probably may not partake in actually driving.
Okay, not this time.
Not at this time.
But on the 14th of November, will you be driving?
Yes, I will be driving.
Sweet, sweet. Kai, is anything else you would like to project out to our listeners about off-road driving, all in all? Any advices, comments?
Well, as I always like to give a pep talk before we actually start driving. I would have done it to the Chevy guys because they were new to the off-road for driving. So
Mhm.
I basically have two rules. Whenever you see someone going up or down a hill, don't drive directly behind the person, just in case if you're going up the hill, the person doesn't make it up the hill, the person has to come back down. The person doesn't reverse and hit you. And if
Yeah,
you're driving down the hill, don't be right behind the person, because I think if you slip, you drive back into the person. So I always say just give the person time to get up or down the hill, and then you can proceed. And then my next biggest rule is you're responsible for the person behind you, so that the person behind you doesn't get lost. So if you
yes,
realize the person behind you gets lost, then you will flag down the person in front of you, and it then creates a chain effect, so that it reaches the person in front that something has gone wrong or someone is not there, and we're just going to wait for that person to come up.
understood. I hope everybody heard that and everybody stays safe on the roads. This was a ninth episode of Automar TV. Thank you very much for everyone tuning in. Thanks a lot, Kai, for giving us tips and updates about L2 crew events and the off road driving, all in all. It was great talking to you.
Nice talking to you as well.
Thank you very, very much. We're coming back with new episodes next week. In the meantime, everybody stay safe during this weekend and God bless you all. Thanks a lot and cheers.